Okay, there's that recovery here, and surprisingly we got another drive today that was looked at by somebody else and was opened previously. This is Seagate Barracoda LP series, 1.5 terabyte. It's approximately 10-15 years old drive. That's the era of the drives when the Seagate has issues with heads, and then they decided to switch from Hutchinson, which is a Minnesota company based that were doing heads for them, to one of the Japanese brands. And this drive have heads parked on the inner side of the platter, and we're going to take a look and see what's going on there, because I asked the owner why they decided to open it up and check what's going on inside, like what was the reason for them to decide that or make a decision to look inside. And I got in a reply that the guy who was doing the initial attempt to repair said that because of the sound what the drive made, he assumed that there is a problem inside, and so he opened it up. I have no idea what's going on there. We will take a look and see, but according to the description, the owner says that there is a scratch on the top platter in the middle of the platters, and they try to remove the heads from the platters to the outer side. So I'm not sure why they decide to do that. And we'll take a look and see what's going on. So I'm gonna unscrew everything, and we'll take the cover off and take a look inside and see what's going on there. So again, basically, I asked him also if the guy had an experience working with the drives, and he had a clean room or a clean box, something to keep the drive secure and safe. And I was told that the guy does work on drives and he has a box, but I don't know, we'll see. There's a lot of people say that they know what they're doing. But in fact, it could be something different. And I mean, even I didn't know certain models that well, so I don't know who could state that they know what they're doing if they're not doing that on a daily basis. Anyways, I don't want to blame anyone for that. You know, there's certain things that people do know, and there is no way for me knowing if they do know what they say they know or not. So we're going to take a look inside ourselves and see what condition is. Trying to get the stickies off my fingers. There we go. Alright, last screw. And we will see what's inside. It's a no-go. It is a no-go again. Look at this. First of all, if we look here, You see how much dust is here. Excuse me. Look at this. This is telling me that dust is everywhere in the chamber. This is really bad. Okay. Now let's look inside. There should be a filter over here. There is no filter. So one thing. Obviously the scratches in the middle over here, and it's pretty severe. And let's take a look inside. So I'm going to swab the chamber. And let's see if there is any dust. Yeah, there is dust there. You see how dark it is. So yeah, this is a no-go. 4 platters. I mean, we can take a look and see at the heads and stuff, but I'm gonna need to get a fork for that. Let me take a look. Maybe I actually have it nearby. Give me a sec. Okay, so I found a fork to take the heads off. This is what it looks like. It's a metal piece. And then we're going to have to put it in there. Like over here, move forward. These little ends, they actually lift the heads off the surface. That way we can safely remove them from the platters and inspect under the scope. I did take the controller off, and what I did notice is that there is a bottom screw and the seal is punctured. This tells me that the heads were removed at one point. So if the heads were removed without any tools like the fork, you have to slide them off the platters, and that will create a problem because you're going to have scratches on the silicone area. Basically all the coating on the platters preventing the oxidation and helping slide the heads properly is silicone based. So very tiny coating, not really thick, barely enough, but it does get scratched if you're going to move them like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the head fork on this thing and remove heads for the inspection and see what's going on with the heads, but I'm pretty sure the heads are going to be messy. Alright. The inner side is a parking area. It doesn't have any coating there, so the head moves freely. It's a little tricky to align it properly, but we can still do that. Alright. Are we in? Not yet. Okay. Now we can safely, let me move it to this side so you can see it better. You see how the head is moving? I mean how the fork is moving freely? It's in the air, it does not touch the surface, and when we move it over here, it goes right under the heads and lifts them up. That prevents the heads from touching the surface and thus crashing. There we go. See how it is. Now we can remove the magnet and move the heads off the platters. So magnet on this model is really strong. I'm going to try to remove it with another tool, which is like this. Helps to get the magnet off the position, but if this doesn't help, then we're going to need to use the pliers to do that. So you place the magnet like that, and then you lift it up. It's really strong. There we go. And that's how the magnet is being removed. There is a stopper over here that we need to remove as well. It's a plastic piece. Looks like that. This is basically limits the area where the head can go. And then we can safely remove the heads from the platters. Now they're going to go beyond the edge of the drive. Edge of the platter. There you go. That's how it should sit, and we can zoom in and see if there's any issues with heads, but we're not going to see the details, so I'm going to have to actually remove it and then inspect it under the scope to see if there's any issues. So I'm going to put on pause and take a look in the scope to see what the heads are looking like. So here's the heads removed. I decided to give you a sneak peek on this thing. This is a preamp chip, and as you can see, the heads are not touching each other. The fork prevents it from touching. But I can see there is a lot of dust in the chamber. There's a lot of dust in the chamber. This is a bad sign. And if we zoom in here, let's take a look closer. Well, you can see some of them are bent. Some of them are not even present, I think. Alright. So that one is bent. These two are bent. I don't think these are even present over there. So we're going to take a look in the scope and see what's going on, but this is bad. This is really bad. Okay, so here's the view of the heads under the scope, and you can tell what's going on here, right? I mean, it's clearly visible that the bottom heads are even totally absent. They are not even there because they got worn out. So we're going to zoom in a little closer. I'll show you a better view. Let's take a look. Yeah, you see they're not even there. Completely worn out. This is a complete mess. It's a fatal problem. Okay. This is a no-go. And look at my fingers there. That's how dirty they are by just handling all that stuff. You see how black this stuff is? This is all magnetic material from the platters. Let me see. There is no actually need to take the platters off to show you what's going on there. I mean, it's pretty clear what is exactly going on there. It's really worn out. These parts are just got sanded off because of the friction, and all that material is inside of platters. So this is a no-go. Platter's gonna have scratches all over them. It's clear. There is no sense to even take it apart. So I guess this is it for today for this drive as well. And this is most likely, this is very actually common problem for this type of model. Like I said, you know, they did not like the overheating is the one thing. And another thing that was a problem is that the heads are parked on the platters, not off them. And that caused a lot of issues. Anyways, thanks for watching Cubics Data Recovery. If you have questions or comments, feel free to reach us out or post a comment down below. We'll be happy to help you out. Take care and do the backup. Stay safe.